What if the biggest financial skill you were never taught in school is the one that could completely change your income? For most people, money comes from one place, a paycheck. And when that paycheck stops, everything feels uncertain. But there's a skill that gives you the ability to create income whenever you need it, a skill that powers businesses, careers, and entire economies. It's not investing. It's not budgeting. It's selling. In today's video, we're going to talk about the money skill schools never teach, and how learning it can help you create cash flow even if your income is low, your schedule is busy, or you feel like you have nothing to sell. Before we begin, a quick note: I share what I learn through everyday life, along with the time I dedicate to reading and researching personal finance and different types of investments. I'm not a financial professional or a financial advisor. Just someone passionate about learning and sharing practical ideas that can help improve our financial lives. Now, let's talk about the biggest lie about making money. Have you ever heard the story that some people are simply born with the gift of persuasion, that success in sales is something you either have or you don't? Well, that's one of the biggest myths out there. The truth is, hard work beats talent every single day. And in the United States, where entrepreneurship and sales drive the economy, this couldn't be more real. Think about it: how many naturally gifted people do you know who never went anywhere? Brilliant individuals full of raw ability who wasted it because they never committed to practicing, studying, and improving. Talent might open doors, but consistent effort is what builds the entire house of success. And here's a secret every great American salesperson learns early. Talent without work is like a car without fuel: it may look beautiful, but it won't take you anywhere. People with natural persuasion skills face two choices: rely only on that gift and settle for average results, or combine it with relentless work ethic and achieve extraordinary outcomes. History is full of people who chose the first path and became footnotes, while those who chose the second became true game changers. In the American marketplace, where competition is fierce and opportunities are massive, relying only on talent is a strategic mistake. The skills that worked yesterday might not work tomorrow. The world changes fast, and only those willing to learn and adapt remain relevant. Now, if you're thinking, "But I'm not naturally good at sales," let me ease your mind: nobody is born a salesperson. You become one. The best sales professionals we know today, those closing million-dollar deals, building solid careers, and earning respect in the market, didn't wake up ready. They chose to learn. They studied. They practiced. And most importantly, they never quit. The willingness to keep trying, even when things get tough, is what truly separates professionals from amateurs. When a beginner salesperson faces their first rejection, they can either conclude they lack talent and quit, or double down, learn from the mistake, and improve. That resilience is worth far more than any natural gift. In the United States, especially in places like New York, Chicago, or Silicon Valley, sales culture is taken very seriously. There are methodologies, training programs, books, and courses that transform ordinary people into ethical and effective sales machines. It's not about memorizing a manipulative script. It's about deeply understanding what you sell and, more importantly, who your customer is. The real art of selling begins with two pillars: empathy and problem solving. Empathy to understand the emotions and needs of others. Problem solving to offer exactly what they need at the right time. When you master these two aspects, selling stops feeling difficult and becomes a natural extension of your desire to help. Many people say, "I'm not a salesperson," as if it's a permanent identity. But the truth is, nobody is. People choose to become salespeople when they realize it's the most powerful tool to achieve their goals. If you have a dream, if you want to build something, if you want to impact lives, sales is the engine that will get you there. So how do you put this into practice without feeling pushy or opportunistic? Let's go through a few tips that will clear your conscience and grow your income. First, forget selling and focus on helping. When you enter a conversation focused only on closing the deal, people feel it. They can tell if you care more about the commission than their well-being. Flip the script: put the customer at the center. If your product truly solves their problem, great. If it doesn't, be honest and recommend another solution. That integrity builds trust, and in the United States, trust is currency. Second, build authentic relationships. Before any sales technique, there's human connection. Get to know people, understand their pain points, and show that you're there to add value. If you promised a quote, deliver it early. If you discussed a partnership, follow up with a project outline. This kind of proactivity not only accelerates deals but also demonstrates your values and work ethic. Third, take responsibility for what happens after the sale. Selling isn't the end of the journey, it's the beginning. A great professional wants customers to succeed using the product or service. In the US, successful companies invest heavily in customer success, support materials, and user communities. They know a satisfied customer not only returns but refers others. Fourth, offer strong guarantees. A satisfaction guarantee, with money back if the customer isn't happy, is the strongest seal of confidence you can give. In the American market, strong guarantees increase sales because they reduce perceived risk. Even more importantly, they show you truly believe in what you sell. Learning sales techniques can sometimes feel uncomfortable, as if you're manipulating people. But selling doesn't have to be, and should never be, dirty. On the contrary, when you sell ethically, transparently, and with a genuine desire to help, you're actually making the world better. Think about the people your products and services can transform: entrepreneurs who need tools to grow, families seeking financial security, professionals wanting to develop their skills. Every time you hesitate to tell them what you do, you deny them an opportunity to improve. The world needs ethical salespeople. It needs people who use persuasion for good, who build bridges, who create value. Without them, the engine of progress simply stops. So the next time you hear someone say talent is everything, remember this: in the United States, the land of opportunity, the winners aren't the most talented, but the most persistent. The ones who show up every day, study, improve, and most of all, care. Go out there, use these tips, help people, and build the success you deserve. The American market is waiting for you. Have you ever stopped to think about where every dollar that enters your account truly begins? No, I'm not talking about the income source, but the decision that comes after. Because the truth is, for most people, money arrives and leaves at the same speed. But for high earners in the United States, the ones who truly build wealth, there's a hidden order that few people understand. The difference between people who simply earn well and those who accumulate wealth isn't how much comes in, but what happens to every dollar before it goes out. It's a matter of sequence. And when you get the sequence right, money starts working for you instead of you working forever for it. Everything starts with income. It's the engine. Without fuel, no car moves. But here's a secret many high earners discover too late: it doesn't matter if you have a Ferrari engine if the tank is leaking. That's why the second step is so crucial, and the most neglected. Living below your means isn't about deprivation. It's about margin. It's about creating space between what comes in and what goes out. I know people who earn $300,000 a year and are always in the red. And I know people earning $60,000 who have built solid wealth. The difference? The first group confused income with wealth. They believed earning more meant they could spend more. But wealth isn't measured by what you spend, it's measured by what you keep. After creating that margin comes the safety net. 3 to 6 months of expenses in an accessible account. It's not exciting, I know. But it's the difference between surviving a storm and being swept away by it. In the United States, where the job market can be volatile and medical emergencies are expensive, this fund isn't optional, it's the concrete foundation everything else is built on. Only then, with solid ground beneath you, can you begin investing. And here, patience becomes a superpower. It's not about picking the next hot stock or timing the market perfectly. It's about consistency. Contributing regularly, diversifying, resisting panic when the market drops and greed when it rises. Your 401k is usually the best place to start, especially if your employer offers a match. That's free money. Refusing it is like leaving a raise on the table. Now you might be wondering, what do high earners do differently? What explains why some people with the same income thrive while others struggle? First, they're obsessed with transparency, not with showing others, but with seeing their own financial lives clearly. They know exactly where every dollar goes. Not because they're controlling, but because they understand you can't manage what you don't measure. They run regular audits, review their positions, and adjust course. It's not about always being right, it's about correcting quickly. Second, they prioritize action over conversation. I know people who spend hours discussing strategies, reading reports, watching webinars, but never execute. High earners are different. When they find a plan that makes sense, they implement it. They don't wait for the perfect moment or absolute certainty. They act on the information they have and adjust along the way. Third, they surround themselves with people who think like they do. I'm not talking about manipulative networking. I'm talking about environment. If you spend time with people who see money as something to spend before it even arrives, you'll absorb that mindset. If you surround yourself with people who build, plan, and invest, you'll begin to act like them. In the United States, where individualism is strong, choosing your influences may be one of the most underrated decisions you can make. Fourth, they maintain control over financial decisions. This might mean trusts, corporate structures, or simply not mixing finances with partners who don't share the same values. It's not about distrusting people, it's about protecting what you've built. I've seen marriages end not from lack of love, but from financial incompatibility. I've seen inheritances disappear due to poor planning. High earners treat money seriously, not romantically. And finally, they invest with strategy, not emotion. They diversify because they know no one gets every decision right. They stay focused on the long term because history shows that those who remain invested are rewarded. They rebalance regularly to keep risk under control. And they seek professional guidance when needed, not out of laziness, but out of intelligence. A good advisor sees what you don't and prevents costly mistakes when fear or excitement takes over. Here's the part many people ignore: building wealth isn't luck. It's not a gift. It's not reserved for people born into privilege. It's a skill that can be learned. And like any skill, it requires practice, mistakes, and course correction. It all starts with mindset. Moving from scarcity to abundance. Understanding that money isn't something to fear, it's a tool. That finances aren't destiny. They're a science. And science can be studied. Happiness doesn't depend on wealth, but well-managed wealth can give you the freedom to pursue happiness. Then come the goals. Not vague ones like, I want to be rich, but specific, measurable, time-bound goals. I want to save $40,000 for a house down payment in 3 years. When you have a clear target, it becomes much easier to aim. And finally, management. A budget isn't a prison, it's a map. Knowing where your money goes isn't control, it's conscious freedom. Spending less than you earn isn't sacrifice, it's a choice. It's trading immediate pleasure for lasting security. At the end of the day, the skill behind every high earner isn't a magic formula. It's a simple sequence executed with discipline, repeated year after year: income, margin, safety net, investing. In that order. No skipped steps. No shortcuts. Because the secret no one talks about is that building wealth isn't sexy. It doesn't make headlines. It doesn't go viral. It's boring, consistent, invisible, until the day you look back and realize that, quietly, you built something most people only dream about. And that's when you understand, it was never about earning more. It was about deciding, in the right order, where every dollar would go. Before we move on, a quick note: I share what I've learned over the years. I dedicate time to reading and researching personal finance and different types of investments, but I'm not a finance professional or a financial advisor. You know that feeling that everything is getting more expensive? Rent, groceries, gas. In the United States, this pressure on your wallet is real and affects millions of families every day. Sometimes you need extra money, and fast. Whether it's to cover the month's bills, pay for a car repair, or simply create some financial breathing room, the good news is that you probably already have what you need at home to get started. Before you think about taking a loan or going deeper into debt, look around you. The solution might be stacked in your closet, stored in your garage, or even inside your own head in the form of skills you don't realize are valuable. If you're enjoying this video and want to learn more practical ways to improve your finances, make sure to subscribe and join the My Wealth Guide community. The first step is deciding what to sell. And that starts with an honest look at what you already own. Clothes you no longer wear, unused electronics, furniture that doesn't fit your current home, books you've already read, everything can turn into cash. But it's not just about what you have, it's about what people want to buy. Tools like Google Trends can help you understand what's trending in the American market and what people are searching for. Take a look at bestsellers on platforms like eBay, Mercury, or Poshmark. This gives you a clear direction on what actually sells. One important detail: profit margin. There's no point selling something if platform fees, packaging, and shipping eat up all your profit. Sometimes offering a service can be more profitable because the startup costs are lower. And speaking of services, here comes the most interesting part: your skills. Grab a piece of paper and write down everything you're good at. Cooking, drawing, fixing things, teaching English, event planning, social media. If you're good at something, chances are someone is willing to pay for it. The secret is aligning your skills with what people need and are willing to pay for. Now let's talk about the fastest method of all: selling what you already have at home. Many Americans live surrounded by things they don't use. Getting rid of them not only frees up physical space but also puts money in your pocket. There's an online market for absolutely everything. And to sell well, a few tips are universal. First, take high-quality photos. Use good lighting, a clean background, and show the item from multiple angles. If there's a flaw, show it. Honesty builds trust. Then write detailed descriptions: size, brand, model, color, condition. Be specific. Think about the words you'd use to search for that item and include them in the title and description. Price competitively. Research similar items and position yours slightly lower if you want a quick sale. Finally, respond quickly to messages. Good communication accelerates sales and builds credibility. Selling things you already own is great, but it's a finite income source. You sell once and it's gone. That's where digital products come in. They're every entrepreneur's dream because they can be sold infinitely. You create once, and every sale becomes profit. Think about what you can teach. If you write well, sell stories or articles. If you understand cars, create an ebook about basic maintenance. If you love cooking, make an online course with practical recipes. The American market is hungry for practical knowledge. Platforms like Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing, Udemy, or Gumroad are great starting points. Don't expect your first product to explode. Most don't sell well at first. But with persistence, adjustments, and audience building, you can create a passive income machine that works while you sleep. Another strategy many Americans use is flipping, buying cheap and selling for more. You find items at thrift stores, garage sales, or marketplaces, fix them if necessary, and resell for profit. The key is spotting trends early. What's trending on social media? Which toys, video games, or fashion items are hot right now? Inspect quality carefully. Don't buy broken items unless you can fix them cheaply. Source strategically, visit markets on discount days, look for bulk lots in online auctions. When selling, presentation matters. Professional photos and a polished description make all the difference. Selling products from home, literally from your kitchen table, is more common than you think in the United States. Many giant startups began this way. The advantage is obvious: low overhead, zero commute, flexible hours. You can turn a hobby into a business without renting commercial space. The internet, and later the pandemic, proved that anyone with a computer and a connection can reach customers worldwide. But it's not all sunshine. Selling online is a 24/7 activity. Separating work and personal life can be challenging. Competition is fierce, and customers are demanding. They expect fast responses, quick shipping, and perfect products. Without structure, frustration can follow. Before starting, check the legal side. If you rent, you may need written permission from your landlord. If you live in a condo, check for restrictions. Depending on the business type, you may need a local license. Some activities require inspections or specific permits. If you plan to modify your home for the business, planning permission might be required. Better to prevent headaches before they start. When it comes to where to sell, you have two main options: marketplaces or your own website. Marketplaces like Amazon, eBay, and Etsy have massive audiences, but they charge fees and set the rules. Your own website, on platforms like Shopify or Squarespace, gives you full control and 100% of the revenue, but you must attract your own traffic. Many entrepreneurs start on marketplaces and move to their own sites once they build a customer base. One business model that has grown rapidly in the US is dropshipping. You sell products from a supplier who ships directly to the customer. No inventory, no storage, no shipping logistics. Your job is marketing and sales. It sounds perfect, but competition is high and margins are tight. It works best for people who understand traffic and conversion. If you choose to hold inventory, remember, space matters. You'll need a dry, safe, organized place to store products. Buy wholesale from reliable suppliers, order samples before placing large orders, and start with small quantities to test the market. Keeping inventory low reduces risk and keeps capital moving faster. Finally, choose products you understand and enjoy. Your passion shows in your communication and builds customer trust. Research demand, study the competition, and calculate margins. Niche products that serve a specific audience often perform better than trying to compete with giants in saturated categories. In the end, what matters most is starting. With little or no money, with the things you already own, or with the knowledge you already have. The American market runs on opportunity. And the biggest one is the ability to turn what's within your reach into real income, on your time, your way. Have you ever stopped to think about what it truly means to choose to be a sales professional? I'm not talking about clocking in, checking boxes, or simply pushing products. I'm talking about waking up every day and consciously deciding that you will be the best version of yourself at what you do, and going to bed knowing you learned something that will make you even better tomorrow. This daily commitment to excellence isn't an exaggeration. It's what separates people who simply sell from those who build solid, rewarding careers. When you start each morning with this mindset, the results compound like interest. Your tomorrows become better than your yesterdays, and that's priceless. Let's start with independence. In the United States, few professions offer the freedom that sales provides. You are your own boss. Of course, that comes with huge responsibility, but it also brings a sense of control over your destiny that few traditional jobs can match. You define your pace, your strategy, your approach. And the results are directly proportional to your effort and intelligence. When managed well, that independence creates unmatched opportunities. In sales, you're not stuck under a salary ceiling or a linear career path. Your growth is limited only by your ability to learn, adapt, and execute. I know salespeople who started from zero and now earn more than CEOs of mid-sized companies, not by luck, but by merit. Then comes the satisfaction of solving problems. There's something deeply rewarding about helping someone overcome a challenge using exactly what you offer. When you sell ethically, you're not just transferring a product, you're delivering a solution that improves someone's life. That feeling of making a difference becomes pure fuel to keep going. Financial security in sales is also unique. I'm not talking about stability in the traditional sense of a fixed monthly paycheck. I'm talking about security built on your skills, discipline, and ability to generate results. When you depend on yourself, the ceiling is higher and the floor is stronger than when you depend on the goodwill of a boss who may not even recognize your value. And don't underestimate the impact sales can have on your family life. The skills you develop, communication, empathy, negotiation, resilience, don't stay at the office. They go home with you. They make you a better partner, a more present parent, a more understanding child. The discipline of listening before speaking and understanding before judging transforms relationships. Speaking of communication, this may be the most underrated skill you'll refine. Learning to express yourself clearly, to persuade without manipulating, to connect ideas and emotions. This isn't just for selling. It's for navigating life, helping friends, standing up in your community, and defending what you believe in. All of this requires a proactive mindset. The first major habit is taking responsibility for your life. Don't wait for things to happen, make them happen. When something goes wrong, the reactive professional complains. The proactive one asks, what can I learn from this? What's within my control? The language we use reveals our mindset. Saying, I can't, I have to, or, it's the market's fault, gives away control. Saying, I can, I choose, or, I'll find a way, reinforces your ability to act. Repeated daily, this choice of words shapes who you become. Problem solving is another art you must master. There's a simple but powerful method. First, clearly define the problem. Then brainstorm alternatives without judging them at first. Next, evaluate and choose the best option. Finally, implement. Repeating this cycle builds a mental muscle that prepares you for any challenge. Building genuine relationships is essential. In the United States, where networking is almost an art, knowing how to connect authentically opens doors no resume ever could. I'm not talking about being fake or flattering people. I'm talking about offering value without expecting anything in return and truly caring. When you do that, people remember. And when they need what you sell, you'll be the first person they think of. Time management is the backbone of everything. Your time is your most valuable asset. In sales, productivity is measured in concrete results, revenue generated, leads converted, deals closed. You must protect your time like treasure. That means making calls in dedicated blocks instead of scattered throughout the day. It means separating tasks so they don't interfere with one another. It means scheduling your day intelligently and placing your most important tasks during your highest energy hours. And remember, your client's time is valuable too. Be direct, be relevant, and show that you respect every minute they give you. That builds respect. Customer service is a stage many salespeople neglect, but it can define your reputation. The sales cycle doesn't end when the contract is signed, it actually begins there. A well-served customer becomes a brand ambassador. They refer, defend, and buy again. Invest in accessible support, clear documentation, and team training. Make your customers feel cared for. Understanding customer needs is the foundation of everything. People want to feel heard. They know you want to sell, that's obvious. But what they truly want is someone who understands their problems and offers a genuine solution. Create detailed personas, study your audience, ask questions, and most importantly, listen to the answers. Finally, develop your emotional intelligence. In sales, your EQ matters as much as your IQ. The ability to sense what others are feeling, adjust your approach, and show genuine empathy turns mechanical interactions into human connections. Analyze your conversations. Notice moments of tension, doubt, and excitement. Learn from every single one. Turning sales into a weekly habit isn't about repeating the same script like a robot. It's about building, day after day, the skills, mindset, and relationships that make you a complete professional. It's about waking up and actively choosing to be better than you were yesterday. And when you do that, sales stop being a job and become part of who you are. Let's talk about the trap most people never realize they're in. The paycheck trap isn't about earning too little. It's about depending on a single stream of income that disappears the moment you stop working. For millions of people, life becomes a cycle. Work, get paid, spend, repeat. Week after week. Year after year. Decade after decade. And one day, they look up and realize they've spent their entire life trading time for money. But here's the truth most people never hear. The moment you learn how to sell, you break the walls of that trap. Because selling is the skill that creates options. Options to earn more. Options to create income on demand. Options to stop depending on a single paycheck for survival. When you know how to sell, you're no longer waiting for opportunities, you can create them. You can turn unused items into cash. Skills into services. Knowledge into digital products. Ideas into businesses. And conversations into income. This is how people move from financial stress to financial flexibility. Not overnight. Not magically. But consistently. Start small. Start messy. Start imperfect. Just start. Sell one thing. Then another. Then another. Build the habit. Build the confidence. Build the skill. Because every sale you make is more than money. It's proof that you can create value on demand. And that's the real escape from the paycheck trap. Before we wrap up, if this video helped change the way you think about money and income, subscribe and join the My Wealth Guide community. There's a lot more coming to help you build smarter financial habits and create more freedom in your life. Here's my advice to you. Don't wait for the perfect idea. Don't wait for more money. Don't wait for more confidence. Confidence comes from action. Clarity comes from action. Income comes from action. 1 year from now, you will wish you had started today. So start small. Stay consistent. Keep learning. Keep selling. And most importantly, keep building the life you actually want. Thanks for spending this time with me. Now close this video, and go create your first opportunity.